Oh, Kash Patel. It seems our time may be coming to an end. And you made it to the top. This is as far as you can go, my friend. But you playing Uno and life just threw down a draw 4.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
But you had fun? So how do we get here? How can someone make it so easily to the best position of their life to look like a complete moron as it all comes crashing down?
Get him up, come on!
You got 15, 20 minutes? Probably not.
Well,
when you have coffee
I'll
breath,
work
it's
on
hard.
that.
So I'm not going to get into a deep dive into Kash Patel's life. Ain't nobody got time for that. Even though he was arrested in 2001 for public intoxication. No surprise there. Or the arrest in 2005 for public urination. Oops. So let's fast forward to his hearing as a director of the FBI, where they pretty much assess the work he's done so far. Pretty much it's a performance review. Now, I've bullshitted plenty of performance reviews in my day, but Kash Patel can't do that. Because he's not good at it. Hell, nobody in this administration is good at it. Now, before Kash Patel became director of the FBI, he used to do podcasting between the years of 2021 to 2023, but would still go on other right-wing platforms like Fox News. One topic he loved to talk about was the Epstein files. Yeah, he was all piss and vinegar back then when he didn't have no responsibilities. It's easy to talk about what you would do when your boss is not Donald Trump.
As Epstein's list, they're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
So you finished that December 2023 interview with a challenge to the FBI and harsh words for Republicans in Congress for not getting the Epstein files out to the public.
It's easy to say the right thing when your whole future isn't on the line. When you've got no skin in the game, you've got nothing to lose. Think about it. It's always easy to say we do something, but when you're actually in that position, you start to think twice. But in this case, you definitely need to release them files. What's your excuse? My hands were tied. That's the biggest flex in the world. That's like a Shaq dunk. You'd be in the history books next to Barack Obama and Martin Luther King as a brown savior. Hell, you're getting your dick.
I'm gonna assume that you ahead of the sexuals and bro ahead of the sexuals too. I'm already ahead of the sexuals.
If you release those files.
This is way off the topic, but who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
All right, so you were sworn in as director more than 200 days ago. Now the Black Book is under your direct control. So why haven't you released the names of Epstein's co-conspirators in the rape and sex trafficking of young women and girls?
Didn't think you'd make it this far, huh? Funny how past comments become a catalyst for your future demise. And Donald Trump, as your boss, you're expected to do your job for him and make small stuff that in itself is important way bigger than it needs to be. Meanwhile, missing the big pile of shit over there.
That is one big pile of shit.
Not one piece of evidence out there proves that this man is innocent. In every picture he has with Jeffrey Epstein, he's smiling. Frown once in a while. I bet you if there was a picture of him with Jeffrey Epstein and he was frowning with his arms crossed. No, definitely not.
We have released more material than anyone else before. The Biden administration, Obama administration had the exact opportunities to release this material and they never did. And if you are selling the men and women of the FBI, we're not going after child predators. Hang on, you said we're not going after child predators. 1,500 child predators arrested this year, 35% increase.
I'll reclaim my time.
4,700 child victims
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to
found.
reclaim my time if you could instruct the witness.
Ah, yes. A popular talking point in every hearing involving this administration. Whataboutism. Now, it has been used in previous administrations and in previous hearings, but you run this show now. If the math ain't mathin', that's your fault. That's called taking, hey. You can handle this, okay? You got this. Accountability. You did great.
Jeffrey Epstein was out for 12 years, and the Obama and Biden administration did nothing to look at his work, his pedophile network. If you want to blame me, that's fine. But now you're blaming the men and women who conducted this
stop
great
that.
search.
I'm not blaming anybody other than you. You're not keeping your word. You said that you would release all of the materials under your direct control.
Has anyone released more information on Epstein than I have? Has anyone?
Much
did
more.
Comey? Did Ray?
Much more.
Did they?
Excuse me. Much more has come out in the days since the American people in Congress have been demanding it. But it's coming out in dribs and drabs. Why don't you just release the entire file as you promised to do?
I literally just told you there are multiple federal court orders. I'm not going to break the law to satisfy your curiosity.
For MAGA, here's an example. You're a cop, and a criminal has been running around getting away with shit for years. All other cops tell you, oh, that's just Donald. He's so crafty and smart. He's like reverse Robin Hood. He keeps robbing from the poor to make himself rich.
Taxes, beautiful, lovely, taxes.
Everything you need to take this man out is right in front of you, but you refuse to do it. This is like every cop episode where there are dirty cops on the force and one man decides to get them all fired. And their pension is always on the line.
King Kong ain't got shit on me!
But for all you claim that you've accomplished, your f***ups are really starting to pile up, my guy. Like when Charlie Kirk got pew-pew.
If we have our man, that would suggest to the public that everybody can rest and relax and not then continue to provide information to local law enforcement and to you.
Well,
so that was a mistake.
I don't see it as a mistake. I see it as something working with the public to identify that there was a subject
So if
in
you
custody.
put out a statement that says we've got our man, and in fact it turns out that you didn't have your man, that's not a mistake?
But that's not what I said.
Well, I'll go on. That's my understanding.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I don't know if Kash Patel knew this, but there is no my bad when you're the director of the FBI. I would know about this. I used to be an announcer for sporting games back in high school, and I couldn't pronounce people's names, and I kept saying my bad on the intercom. After a while, those my bads started to pile up. Why do you think in most TV shows and movies the FBI is always made fun of? You're like those FBI agents in Die Hard.
It's like Saigon! Hey, Slick!
I was in junior high, dickhead.
You know it's not a my bad to Kash Patel? Taking his girlfriend on date nights, on the FBI jet, and using the SWAT team as security detail for her!
MS Now reported this morning that Patel ordered the SWAT team he assigned to his girlfriend to drive her drunk friend home from the bar multiple times.
I think I want my money back.
Now I get it. Kash Patel has a cute girlfriend who's trying to stunt. And we've all done it. From a new job position to a new car, but not a motherfucking private jet. And I know Kash Patel using this plane to impress his girlfriend on our taxpayer dollars pisses people off. And don't get me wrong, it pisses me off too. But imagine having to sit next to Kash Patel on a flight. I think you'll understand if I want to switch my seat. Hell, I'll even take one by the bathroom. But you spoke up on that too, Kash. You really should stop talking.
I'm just saying Chris Wray doesn't need a government-funded G5 jet to go to vacation. Maybe we ground that plane. $15,000 every time it takes off. Just a thought.
So you being at the Olympics, celebrating with the men's hockey team was for national security? Kash is out here living the life he's always wanted. He gets to hang out, have sex with white girls, take private jets wherever he wants to, party with hockey athletes, and hang out with celebrities.
Everyday FBI agents who are assigned in Washington don't get to fly home on a private jet.
Well, this is a great point. Do you know why I have to use a private jet? Because Congress made it mandatory.
Okay, in April 5th, well, we didn't make it mandatory that you go to UFC games with Mel Gibson.
Are you telling me I can't go home?
You got to use some judgment here.
So when I'm at home, I can't do what I'm doing when I go home. Everybody else is allowed to go home,
Let me
just not
keep
me.
going. No, I'm glad you go home. I
Okay.
love to go home, but I don't go home on a private jet. On April 5th,
You're not mandated to do so.
You attended a hockey game in New York City with Wayne Gretzky, and Flight Tracker says the FBI jet took you to and from New York City, where you don't live, right?
That's correct.
Kind of sucks when certain private amenities are logged in and people can see where you're going. I'm sure you'd get rid of that too if you could. I don't get it. With the amount of money you make in this position, you could easily afford another means of transportation. We don't care. I don't care that you went there. We care that you spent our money to get there. But that's not all Kash Patel spends his money on.
Several officials told The Atlantic that Patel's drinking has been a recurring source of concern across the government. Early in his tenure, meetings and briefings had to be rescheduled for later in the day as a result of his alcohol-fueled nights. 6 current and former officials and others familiar with Patel's schedule told The Atlantic. As a sidebar, not normal. I've worked in 2 administrations. Again, back to the quote. On multiple occasions in the past year, members of his security detail had difficulty waking Patel because he was seemingly intoxicated. This was Chris was just referencing. And that's according to information supplied to Justice Department and White House officials.
I mean, you see how he was with the hockey team and his previous arrest. Be honest. Does Kash Patel look like somebody who could keep it together?
Wow! Okay!
These leaked sources don't mind giving up the ghost. They just don't want to be named. Hey, I get it, big bro. Your secret is safe with me. Cone of silence.
One incident earlier this month, Patel struggled to log into an internal computer system. He quickly became convinced that he had been locked out, and he panicked, frantically calling aides and allies to announce that he had been fired by the White House, according to 9 people familiar with his outreach. 9 people.
9!
Now, the access problem turned out to, quote, have been a technical error, and it was quickly resolved, and that's according to 2 people familiar with the matter.
He had dreams about this day. That's why he reacted the way he did. This is his final destination scenario. Getting fired from this job. Have you ever heard of leading by example? If I get fired or leave a job, there is one thing that they cannot say about me, that I didn't work hard. Instead, everybody running around talking about you cashing out. You couldn't do that at home? Like a normal person? Plenty of people get shit-faced off the clock at home. What you do at your home is your business. I don't care about that. But you want to be out here looking like Boo-Boo the Fool for everybody to see.
Got a condo on my wrist, girl, I'm cashing out. Got a condo around my neck, girl, I'm cashing out. 36 hoes, so round with that Nina. My diamonds out for me, they say, how can I make?
The article cited conversations with more than 24 people, including current and former FBI officials. And quoting from the article, they said that he is known to drink to the point of obvious intoxication, in many cases at the private club Ned's in Washington, D.C., while in the presence of White House and other administration staff. The reporting goes on. He is also known to drink to excess in the Poodle Room in Las Vegas, where he frequently spends parts of his weekends. Early in his tenure, meetings and briefings had to be rescheduled for later in the day as a result of his alcohol-fueled nights.
He was probably like this before this position, and then probably got ramped up once he became a Trump official. Covering for a criminal can be very stressful. This man is so stressed out now, he's got his own workers taking polygraph tests. He don't trust nobody.
Kash Patel has ordered the polygraphing of more than 24 former and current members of his security detail and other staff, and has been described as in panic mode to save his job and find leakers among his team. That is according to 2 people briefed on the development. Kash Patel has walled himself off from some senior bureau leaders this week in the wake of multiple media reports that raised red flags about his leadership.
But this reporter did something that this administration doesn't provide. Proof! Credible sources! Not just trust me, bro.
Patel's advisor, Erica Knight, called your piece fabricated stories. She said that every serious D.C. reporter passed on. Sarah Fitzpatrick and Jeffrey Goldberg printed it anyway. Lawsuit is being filed. What do you say to that?
I say that I am a very careful, very diligent, award-winning investigative reporter with a history of award-winning work across multiple organizations. You and I, in fact, have worked together previously. I stand by every word of this reporting. We have excellent attorneys, and it is a surprising statement, but a very telling statement, I believe.
No lie, this woman is standing on 10. If I was Kash Patel and she was on the opposing side, I'd be afraid. Somebody with that much confidence and accomplishments, I'd be scared.
I'm not afraid.
You will be. You will be.
This man is so shook that he's launched a probe against this reporter to find dirt on her.
The FBI has opened a criminal leak investigation into Atlantic magazine reporter Sarah Fitzpatrick. You may remember Fitzpatrick wrote an alarming piece of reporting. The headline was "The FBI Director is MIA." For that report, she spoke to more than 24 sources. That reporting detailed Kash Patel's emotional outbursts, his unexplained absences, and excessive drinking to the point that, quote, some of Patel's colleagues at the FBI worry that his personal behavior has become a threat to public safety.
But all you're doing is giving yourself away. You're supposed to be cool under scrutiny. Kash Patel is like Pinocchio. Every time he lies, instead of his nose getting bigger, his eyes just get wider.
It's a simple, straightforward question. If you talk to anybody about whether you thought
The
you were
simple answer to your question is you are lying. And every time you do so, I've answered your question. It's simply as follows. I was never locked out of my systems. Anybody who says it,
lawsuit says the opposite. Your lawsuit
anyone that says the opposite is lying. Thank you.
The lawsuit that you filed says that directly.
Look, man, stop. You're being extraordinarily rude. And I know maybe that's part of your profession, but please just stop.
This administration has to be some of the most sensitive people in the entire world. Y'all love to sling out insults, but then when you contradict yourself about your lawsuit on live television, I'm supposed to feel sorry for you? Is this your first day?
Trump's FBI pick Kash Patel has a history of suing perceived adversaries.
So how many of these cases have you actually won? Because it's not how you start, it's how you finish. If you sued 10 people but only won one case, maybe we need to take a step back and reassess how we move going forward. Maybe something that doesn't involve suing everybody.
Same night loop, same white eyes, glass there stuck, don't even hide. Door go blast, frame get torn, top floor silent, floor get worn. Bug eye look when the lights hit back, whole room see when the image crack. Can't be found when it counts the most, playing boss but you look like a ghost. Neon lights but the crowd stay cold, same fake story getting resolved. Country voice but it don't hold pitch, industry push but it still don't hit you. Fund the flights, push that show but the streams stay flat. Don't grow, big eyes wide in the front row glare, even she know it ain't going nowhere.
You said you never fall like that. Now you hear that ram come back. You said you'd take it all down. Now you can't make a sound.
Damn. Even Iran is dragging you? What, you gonna sue them next? Think you got a good case? I mean, so did Donald Trump, but you see how that's going.
Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. How would they know? How would they know?
Why are you standing like that? Your parents in the audience?
I definitely take issue with a number of decisions that Donald Trump makes, especially when it comes to the people that he decides to appoint to very important positions, including this one, because I did have to make sure that I wasn't going crazy. But when I say that you are the least qualified FBI director in the history of the FBI, that is real, because you are the only one that never even served with the FBI prior to joining, yet we are supposed to believe that
That's
you are
false.
the greatest thing since sliced bread. I didn't ask you a question.
I'm gonna miss Jasmine Crockett. She always kept it real. I don't like this man, but take a page out of Dan Bongino's handbook and resign. Don't go out like this. Don't break your back for this criminal for him to blame you when shit ain't popular and then he's gonna fire you.